Folks? Guys, we are here. We are live. Can you see me? Can you hear me? It's a beautiful day in the Big Hole Valley. How's everybody doing today? Oh, Rick Sikowski's on here. Let's first of all thank Rick. My buddy Rick is on here, and he is an Emmy award-winning television producer that made this, put together this doc. My buddy Dane Strother up here in the Big Hole went and did these interviews for me. And John Sweeney filmed this. He's a Montana-based DP. Rick, is he a DP? But Rick put this thing together. And why did we make this backstory? Let's start with that. So we made this backstory. I went through some traumatic events as a kid, from the time I was 5 till early in my 20s anyway. And so these lyrics in the record Savage, the tone of the record Savage, I was going back through those things. A lot of these songs, like Shut Me Out, might sound like a relationship song, but it's about an unwanted teenager that was being abused. And love me, hate me, break me, shut me out. That's all about childhood trauma. And if you listen to Day by Day, I wanted to get that off my chest. And you listen to some of these songs. So I felt like it was important to tell you guys a little bit about me. And, I grew, as you know, if you've seen me live, you knew that I grew up in a trailer without electricity, but there's a whole nother side to that story of being locked in the woods in a rough home. I had a great mother that always fought for me in more ways than one. She shouldn't have had to do that. But and so the lyrics on the record Savage kind of, needed to be explained. So I wanted to tell you guys, and we went and found all these VHS tapes my mom had. I converted them to digital, and then Dane and I and John Sweeney in Montana went and interviewed my mother, Mary, who's remarried, and for the first time in her life, very happily married. So at 75 or 76 years old, she found true love, thank God. And so we interviewed my mom, my brother Eric's here, who is a PhD virologist. You'll tell when you see his interview that he is much smarter than I am. He got the brains, I got the music. And yeah, so we interviewed a few people. John Metz, the high school principal, that was my wrestling coach. Kyle Reif, one of my best friends that works here at the world famous Wise River Club. So there's a really cool cast of characters in this backstory. And it's only 6 minutes long, too. We didn't want to bore you guys with a 45-minute. I mean, I could go on and on into great depth about some of the stuff that happened as I was a child growing up. But we'll save that for a Lifetime movie someday, right? Does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Let's start here. Tim Montana, true legend. He's always amazing. Keep it up. Wow. Thank you. A legend. Amazing. And it is funny. I'll tell you guys what. I did an Instagram story today. We've had this documentary in the can for like a month or two. Anytime I'm down in the dumps or depressed, this might sound arrogant, but it works. I watch my documentary and I'm like, oh shit, I got this. So I use this mini doc to fire me up, because last night I was down in the dumps because I'm getting ready to leave my kids and wife for 6 weeks to go on this tour with Seether and Skillet. And I'm very grateful for the work and the success we're having. But being a kid that had daddy issues, when I leave my kids, it's like this trauma that I have inside kind of comes out of this abandonment stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm not abandoning you guys. So I leave today for 6 weeks. We start the tour in Asheville, North Carolina. We're traveling everywhere. Let's see. I'm rambling. I've had 19 cups of Black Rifle coffee today. Hello from Poland. Will we ever see you in Europe? Yes, please. I love Europe so much. I just went over there on vacation. I hit France. I hit Italy. We had such a great trip. I absolutely adore Europe. And I have a lot of fans over there. And a couple of them were tour guides for me. And it was amazing. I brought a guitar. I played them songs. These guys were great. So we got to explore France and Italy. That was awesome. So I would love to come to Poland. I've never been to Poland, but I love Europe, love it. I'm turning 40 this year. Don't tell anybody, or next year. And I'm thinking about going to Europe for my birthday. So love you, brother. I have the paper plate set list when you played for Charlie and Celeste. Oh, that's awesome. I love Charlie and Celeste. Best 6 minutes we will spend. Yes, absolutely. I have some inappropriate comments about that. I'm just kidding. It was awesome when I saw you again. You played in Toonies. Yeah, you're the dude that rode the Indian motorcycle. I remember that. Let's see. Hello, Tim. Thank you for going live from Cape Breton Island. Where is Cape Breton Island? Where can I watch the documentary? The documentary will be live here on my YouTube page in 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Another interesting story I got to tell you guys about this doc. As you know, Billy Gibbons has become like a father figure to me and just one of my best friends and business partners. And, things happen for a reason. Maybe I discovered him later in life to fill that void of, he doesn't have a son. I don't have a dad. We have a very good relationship, like I said, but I showed him the mini doc in the UPS parking lot in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'll never forget, he watched it on a phone and he was glued to the phone with his glasses. And when it ended, I said to him, all right, let's go ship these packages. And he goes, dude, I'm going to need a minute. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. And I'm about to get emotional talking about it, but he got emotional and a special moment. So what was the first riff you learned to play on guitar? Oh, it was probably Susie Q or House of the Rising Sun or LaGrange. I'd always learn like a half a song or a quarter of a song. When I was a kid, I could never learn a whole song. I just learned the good parts. So what was the first? Let's see. I discovered you this year when you opened for Stain. Man, I'm probably your oldest in age fan. No way. You're not the oldest. You're only as old as you feel, right? Nova Scotia, Canada, sir. I love Canada. My guitar player is Canadian. He's from Nelson, BC. Love from the Mississippi Delta. I love the Mississippi Delta too. Let's see what other questions we have. Number one fan of Mississippi. Let's see. So we got about 8 minutes left. Here we go. Here's a good question. Do you find different writing inspiration in certain environments like mountains versus beach? 100%. I'm very much so. I write to the environment I'm in. And I found that me writing songs here in Montana off the grid, well, we're not off the grid here. We're obviously on the internet, but going to a cabin that's kind of unplugged from the world, I get rid of the distractions of this cell phone and all the other stuff that's going on. And I'm able to really deep dive into my soul and pull some different things out of there. And when I've written at the beach, I kind of write Jimmy Buffett style songs. Best part of playing live is my favorite thing to do. And when I play live, it makes everything else worth it. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but 90% of my job is driving and 10% of my job is performing. It's crazy. So when people are like, talking about, oh, it's crazy, you have to pay a band, this or that. It's like, think about how much driving and how many hours they spend away from their family to get to you to perform a show. It's an amazing, grateful blessing to get to do this for a living. But yeah, it makes it all worth it. If I drive 14 hours and play for 30 minutes and the fans cheer and clap and sing Devil You Know or Savage back to me, it makes it all worth it, So let's keep going. That's part of playing live. So excited for you as always. Open invite to come hunt with us in Pennsylvania. I'm missing bow season this year to tour with Seether. So I'll go on. And John Dudley just made me a custom Hoyt bow over there. So let's see. I'll see you in Ohio when you open for Lee Bryce. Awesome. Meant to ask you, do you and JJ Lawhorn share producers? Reason I asked, he hunts with a family member of mine. JJ Lawhorn's current producer is my guitar player, Tommy Samulak. Tom does not produce my records. Michael Wilshire does, but there is a connection there with JJ Lawhorn. When are you stopping in Phoenix? I'm playing Mesa, Arizona twice. I'm playing with Miles Kennedy and I'm playing with Seether. So check timmontana.com for tour dates. What artists or records are you jamming right now? That is a great question. I just made a really cool playlist that I launched through Hook and Barrel. And I don't listen to a ton of new music. I'm sorry. I just like the old stuff. It's that Burnside guy, this blues guy. He died. And I just discovered this Burnside, RL Burnside, something like that. Check out that dude. Check out that playlist I just launched on Hook and Barrel. What's your favorite group that you listen to? That's tough. I listen to too many groups, man. A ton. Grunge, ZZ Top, all that. What's been the most surprising comments or reactions to Savage? Rick Sikowski, the man that made this documentary happen. If you go read the comments on Day by Day and Devil You Know, that's wild. Writing some of these songs, getting some of this past trauma out of my soul is therapeutic. And when people hear it and send me their stories, that weighs on my soul, but I feel like in a positive way, and it gets to feel like I get to help people. I've always been the guy that's wanted to turn my negative experiences into positive experiences and help people. And that's one of my favorite things to do. And so that's been the most surprising thing. And my Day by Day song talks about sobriety. I had to hang up the bottle a couple of years ago. I'm not a perfectly sober person. I fall off the wagon every now and again, but it's becoming less and less a thing. And so if I read the comments on Day by Day, there's like people that wake up every and listen to that song day over to stay off drugs. And that is a wild feeling knowing that we're helping people. I have to be honest, I'm from the generation. You play your own tracks. We had a studio drummer and Micah, studio bass player, and Micah Wilshire, and I did all the other instruments. And he pushed me to play my own guitar in the studio. And I'm not a studio quality musician, but can you imagine what Smells Like Teen Spirit would sound like if Kurt Cobain didn't play that guitar part? It'd be totally different. And perfect sometimes isn't the best. Imperfection makes it original. Hi, Tim. Do you want to do lunch when you're in Boston? Oh, absolutely. As long as we're getting Labstas in Boston. Talk about your idols. I just got to play Rooster twice with Jerry Cantrell. That kind of got to hang my hat on that. I've got to play LaGrange with Billy F. Gibbons. I've got to play Rooster with Jerry Cantrell. And now I got to perform with Dave Grohl in an acoustic setting in Memphis. So I've kind of found them all. I got ZZ Top, Alice in Chains, and Foo Fighters. So now I can retire and just run the Wise River Club. Just kidding. Let's keep going. Thank you, Jacqueline Hunter. Any advice for aspiring guitarists and songwriters? Just keep going, man. Keep writing, keep performing, keep playing. Just hone your skill. 10,000 hours, you know? How did you hook up with Power Hour Rock On? I hooked up because of Matt Pinfield. My manager, Darren, connected me with the guy that connected me with Matt Pinfield. We became buddies. The rest is history. PRCC, back from Patagonia and relocated to Raleigh. What inspiration or motivates you? Why did you decide to move to such strong music in this savage path? Devil You Know was one of those things that could not be a soft recorded song. I wanted it to be heavy. And it started blowing up. So we figured we'd go write a rock record. And that's what I grew up listening to. And a lot of people in Montana are like, it's pretty funny that you finally found success in playing the music that 15-year-old Tim was playing. And I got away from that for a while because I didn't really have a lane for it and got back to the music I was making as a kid. So if there's any lesson in that, be yourself. No matter what people tell you, do what you want to do. Play the music that's in your heart. Don't listen to anybody but yourself. Devil You Know played on Loud Station in Canada. Love Canada. Favorite song to perform live. What is my favorite song to perform live? I don't know, Cam. I love all of them. I love Devil You Know. I love them all. Dave, disabled son, loves it. Me and my family loves you. Thank you so much. Love to your family. All good now. Thank you. Your music means a lot. What message do you want people to take away from your backstory? I want you to take away inspiration. I don't want to be the poor me kind of guy, but I'm an honest guy. I'm blatantly honest all the time. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. Sometimes it moves me ahead in life. So if you watch my story, I just hope that inspires people. And I want to inspire kids, man. I know a lot of poor kids out there that have been through a lot of trauma. And some of these artists like Jelly Roll telling his story about his past and drugs and going to prisons. I like that. I like when musicians use their platform to help people to do good. You know, I stay out of the political game because that shit's toxic. I just want to help human beings from all walks of life. And if you grew up poor and got to a certain point, like, be grateful and give back and tell people, you know, tell your story. Don't hide it. And one of my former producers, Marshall Altman, when I was going through a heavy drinking phase and always crying about my past and poor me, it was like, hey, dude, are you going to let that shit define you? Is that who Tim Montana is? Is that the definition of you? Or are you going to use that to do good and move further in life? And that right there, that hit me so hard. Do not let trauma define you. Don't be the guy that, oh, I got abused your whole life. Sure, that's part of your story. That's part of your DNA. But how can you turn that into positive reinforcement for other people, for your family, for your kids? You know, just try to, you know, it's easy to, you know, fall into drugs or alcohol and it's hard to get out of that. So I just hope people take my story, my backstory as a message of hope. Like, hey, you can grow up dirt floor poor in a trailer house, getting beat up as a kid and having your guitars taken away. But if you fight and believe in yourself and find the courage and strength to move forward and hopefully inspire other people. Yes. All right, guys, it is live. Dream tour lineup. I hope the Foo Fighters take me out someday, but right now I'm touring with my favorite band. So just being on a stage right now and getting to perform for a live audience is my dream tour lineup. So thank you for staying out of politics. No problem. I thank myself every day for that. Yeah, that's funny. I grew up poor, but didn't realize it at the time. I didn't know either. I didn't know what electricity was like. I didn't know what a microwave or a dryer was like till I was like 19. And to this day, I am still defeated by microwaves because I'll put like a baby bottle in there and I'll cook it for 3 minutes and I stare at it. But when I first, that's what you don't know about off grid kids. Like, even if you have solar or generator, like a microwave and a dryer take too much electricity to run. So I didn't have a microwave or dryer until I was older, and still I just cook things all the time in there. And when I was moving to Hollywood when I was a teenager, like 18, 19, I would put silverware in the microwave and stare at it. And my roommate was like, "Bro, are you a caveman?" And I was like, "Actually, I am." So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for checking this out. I'm going to start the tour with Seether and Skillet next week in Asheville, North Carolina. Please share my story. Please share the music. This is an organic thing that we're doing, just trying to get the message out there. And I love all of you. And Tim for president. I might start as governor of Montana. You know, Montana for Montana. What do you think? Anyway, thank you guys. Love to everybody. Thank you, Rick Sikowski. Thank you, Dane Strother, John Sweeney, for bringing this to life. And thank you to my mom for fighting for me, my wife for fighting for me. Love you guys.